What's up, guys? Welcome back to the vlog. So I've got some updates on Hector from Liam. Sorry, let me just get that straightened up there. So I've kind of compiled the list again, kind of like I did last week. So I guess I'll just get into it. So first, I'll start with some good news. He had some tears. He was crying. Liam went in, and he was crying actual tears. Something Liam says he didn't think it was going to be a big deal when he first saw his child cry. Obviously, no parent wants to see their child cry. When you go this long and he hadn't cried yet, I think that was a good moment for them as a family as well. So the Duke doctor from last time sent a list of studies for them to put Hector through some blood tests, whatnot. The first big one that they did was a skin biopsy, so sending a skin sample to Baylor University to test the mitochondrial panel. And that is a fixed content panel designed to cover, this big number here, 16,659 base pairs and 37 genes in the mitochondrial genome. And that's a lot of little things that help with every cell in our body, so lots could go wrong there. Came back all right. Another thing they wanted to check was the creatine content in Hector's urine. Creatine is a protein that the body produces to help regenerate and store water, which Hector had not been doing so good, but it is getting better. This big test here, the urine polyol levels. It's a method of choice for the biochemical diagnosis of RPI, which is the ribose phosphate isomerase. A low level of those includes optic atrophy, which Hector had in his eyes, cerebral ataxia, which we talked about last time, seizures, a common occurrence for Hector, and some psychomotor retardation, which means the slowness of the brain and the motor function skills, and some other small things that we're not too worried about. Liam did let me know that they're revisiting some of those diseases that they ruled out, such as the LSD, the lysosomal storage disorders, and the mitochondrial disorders. The one LSD that they did look at was the metachromatic leukodystrophy, and if it comes back positive, it'll require another test to diagnose it as the problem. And then also the neuronal ceroid, why are they gonna make these words so hard? I can't even say it. But anyway, it requires genetic testing, not just blood work or a skin sample or urine to test for that. And then the mitochondrial disorder, duplicate genes, they're looking at any of those genes that are mutating and copying incorrectly and whatnot. And then depletion syndrome in the mitochondria, where instead of duplicating the genes, they're just being deleted, essentially. So it's not what we don't want that. Then they also tested for AAA syndrome, which is the reduced or absent ability to secrete tears. I just talked about that. So they bought this special formula to add to a diet. It's like a powder. And so first Liam and Adriana took it for a week to see if there were any side effects for them, because, you know, their genes make up his genes. They were good. They gave it to him, and that's when they found he was crying one night in bed, and that was such a special moment for them. Now, the meat of what happened. So they did some tests for Algrove's, which is a deficiency in many areas of the body. Something we talked about last time was the ACTH levels, and his levels are really high, and what those do are regulate blood pressure, blood sugar, the immune system, and the response to stress. Those are all important things that the human body needs to be able to cope with correctly, and his levels are way above normal, which is not what we want. But luckily, within that test, they tested for the AAAS gene, which came back negative, and that's what kind of controls in a way that the human body doesn't function. Controls the genes and the nucleus, which, like, we want to avoid that, so we're good there. And then finally, the good news is that Hector joined a children's study group for genetic disorders. So the doctors think that he might have an undiagnosed biological disorder, genetic disorder, sorry. So he joined a study with 11 other kids. Should be really good. We should find out what happened. Let me just make sure I've got all that in there. Oh yeah, sorry, totally forgot a whole part that I wrote. They did start him on a new medication called Keppra, and he was having seizures about every couple seconds. I mean, you saw in that chart last time, it was all over the place. But now, instead of every couple seconds or every few minutes, which was good, kind of cut that down. And then they switched into a keto diet where that powder that I mentioned came into play. And they did some blood tests after starting the diet and the Keppra, and seems to be doing a lot better. She wrote me a whole journal on, well, not me, but Adriana wrote a whole journal about how things are getting better for Hector. She says that it's good to see him improve, and that while it is meticulous, but it's working and it's worth it for them. So that's the update. They're working hard for him. We love him. And yeah, see you guys next week.